Hello, I'm the Irish guy, and yes, let's look back at a strange video I did during the absolute madness of 2020. Go back to June 2020, and yes, I had hair that made me look like someone who probably has a collection of fingers in his wallet. But I did a video looking at every Premier League club's most promising academy star, or at least someone that caught my eye, and that I was telling you all to keep an eye on. Well, it's 5 years later, and let's just see what has happened to these wonder kids that this scraggly, unkempt hobo was gassing up. So let's see where they are now. And also, let's take a look at some of your comments on the video at the time. Like, this one.
Not sure what is uglier, that shirt you're wearing or Troy Deeney?
Let's get on with the video. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Karl-Heinz Valladolid.
How many children find themselves in a position where they can actually turn down Man United? I'm convinced this Estonian goalkeeper only joined Arsenal instead of them because Mark Poom is some sort of national icon in that country.
Yeah, back in 2020, I thought this teenage Estonian goalie was supposed to be some next level top goalkeeper. Arsenal fans were screaming about him as if he was Snow White himself. Yeah, it's 5 years later, and is he some superstar goalkeeper? The next Emiliano Martinez? No, he barely played on loan at Reading, and now, this is the season where he's finally playing regular matches. He's bottom of La Liga with Real Valladolid. I mean, it's a cool loan move for the kid. He's playing for a club where Ronaldo is the president. So even if he is utter melted Eskimo poo on the pitch, he can still try and sneak a selfie with R9 by luring him into his bedroom with a pie. That sounds kind of weird, actually. Lads, back when I made this video, I talked about Hein actually being linked with Manchester United at the time. Yeah, it's 5 years later, and he's still linked with Manchester United. This article is from November 2024. This was Yahoo Sports speaking about Andre Onana's struggles in goal.
And that could force the club into action, and as per Features, the club are eyeing Arsenal's Karl-Heinz to strengthen their goalkeeping department.
I'm sorry. What? Was this actually an article written by a journalist, or was this just an example of a child's homework for creative writing class? Apparently the Gunners want 25 million euros for the guy, and Spurs wanted him too before they bought Kinski. And I'm sorry, but if that deal had gone through, oh well, Carl, you could forget about ever taking your missus to the cinema ever again in North London. You'll definitely be walking out of Nosferatu covered in popcorn and blood. So I guess maybe Hein has turned out well. Aston Villa, Louis Barry, Celtic.
Louis Barry is 16 years of age and has already played for Barcelona. What? That is the pinnacle of every footballer's career. How does this kid just complete a football? He's supposed to be one hell of a talent and is probably going to be great, but he's already completed every footballer's dream.
5 years ago, I was fascinated by Louis Barry. Come on, no normal teenage boy from Sutton, a town made famous by a goalie chewing a pie, manages to squeeze in a year at Barcelona when he's 15. Getting an invite to that prestigious academy before you've even kissed a girl is on par with me receiving a letter from Hogwarts, or Santa Claus crawling down my chimney and feeding me a bowl of shreddies on the couch. And don't get it twisted, I was super excited to see this Barcelona striker representing the Republic of Ireland under 19s. This was the next Robbie Keane, at least. Because don't forget, he was at Inter Milan really young. I mean, 6 months after this video, this kid was scoring against Liverpool in the FA Cup. Klopp called him a mini Jamie Vardy. I'll be honest, by now, I thought this kid was going to be a world-class striker.
Louis Barry will be the English Ronaldo.
But okay, moment of truth. Barry is 21 years old now. He's a grown man. Where is the first English player to join the La Masia Academy? I know you're thinking, did he play with Yamal? Does he have that story to tell his grandkids? But according to his UEFA Youth League stats, the most high-profile, biggest star in his team was Barcelona left-back Alejandro Balde, which is still pretty cool. Barry was such a promising teenager that, lads, we actually had a situation where Barcelona were being sued by a bitter West Brom. This kid said no to PSG. This was the hottest 16-year-old talent in Birmingham back in 2019, not Jude Bellingham, which is nuts. I think the reason I paid attention to this guy was because he reminds me of someone I went to school with, Garvin Coughlin. He looked like Louis Barry, and I remember he also had trials at Aston Villa, which for a small town in Ireland was so surreal. Yeah, he's since grown up to be an absolute superstar in the New Zealand League. Look at those gold stats. So I think that's why I paid attention to Barry. He looks like his brother. Look, Barry is still technically a Villa player, but he hasn't been given a single minute in the Prem, but he is a goal machine for Stockport County and now is on the verge of a potential £10 million switch to Celtic this month. Although he's also being pursued by RC Lons. Yeah, he's got that creepy ginger FIFA nerd Will still sliding into his DMs. Honestly, lads, I wouldn't give up on Barry. I also think he can have a great career. Bournemouth, Brooklyn Genesini, Weymouth.
Well, to make way for Brooklyn Genesini, the game is not ready. A teenage fullback who once recovered from a goalpost landing on his head, he could have been a ballroom dancer.
Yeah, a ballroom dancer. Look, considering he's got a name posher than Hugh Grant's accent, and the fact his Bournemouth right back actually came through at something called Brazil's soccer school, you would be fooled into thinking he was a future star. I was anyway. Look, he went on the most hipster loan imaginable after this vid, joining Næstved Bold Club in Denmark, where to be fair, he scored the only goal of his career against a side managed by Daniel Lager. Remember that Liverpool centre-back who nearly joined Man City when they became rich? But sadly, it hasn't worked out, and he's now playing in the National League South with Weymouth. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time anybody has uttered his name on YouTube since my original vid. This is kind of sad. Next, Brighton Andrew Croft's Wales assistant.
Andrew Crofts is 36. What is he doing in the youth team?
Yeah, he's now 40 years old. An assistant to Craig Bellamy with Wales. No longer pretending to be a youth team player by turning up to work with a skateboard, a Pokemon hoodie, and a backwards baseball cap. Burnley Kai Calderbank Park, Atherton's Collieries.
Burnley have an interesting youth setup. One of their goalies is called Kai Calderbank Park. By all accounts, though, he sounds like a good shot stopper. He was recently called up by Australia, so go on, Kai. You've a fan on this channel.
5 years ago, I was a fan of Kai Calderbank Park, this up-and-coming promising teenage Burnley goalie, who was an underage Australia international. Yeah, they released him just a few months after this video. He then joined Berry's Phoenix team after the original one went bust, which feels a little creepy. It's a bit like me digging up someone's grandma and taking her on a date after she kicked the bucket last year. I don't think I could get away with propping up her skeleton in Costa Coffee and ordering her a scone. It would look like something out of Beetlejuice. He then went to Connah's Quay Nomad, and then, oh boy, he got himself a Hollywood move to Wrexham. So forget about his biggest slice of fame being included in a HITC video, which got 300,000 views. Oh no. This guy's met Deadpool, but obviously he wasn't good enough to start. If they then had to persuade a YouTuber to get off the couch and go in goal, he now plays for Atherton Collieries FC. To put this in context, this man was a Burnley goalkeeper, and I was a sad little muffin eating Frosties for lunch and begging pigeons for a chat. 5 years later, and he's actually playing football at the same level as the current HITC host. Yes, my replacement, Jack, plays for Brickhouse Town in the Division 1 East table. Calderbank is in the Division 1 West table of the Northern Premier League. Both clubs are in the relegation zone. Lads, the guy who took my job, who is now sitting in my sweaty seat, munching on flies for breakfast, might actually be a better player than this former Australia star. Wow. Chelsea, Lewis Baker, Blackburn Rovers.
This isn't unusual. It's just sad. The fact that Lewis Baker is 25 years old and trapped in the Chelsea youth team. For your own sake, lad, please just leave.
Yes, of all the Chelsea Academy ballers I could have concentrated on back in 2020, I just had to plump for their weirdo midfielder Lewis Baker. Oh, I really wish that I'd instead said that the 15-year-old Lewis Hall buried in their academy would one day become an England international left back. Then I'd look clever, but yeah, no. Baker finally quit Chelsea for Stoke in 2022 and is now pushing 30 and currently on loan at Blackburn Rovers. Which begs the question, how did this man survive as a Chelsea employee between Jose Mourinho's first spell all the way up to Thomas Tuchel? Nuts. Crystal Palace, Tyreek Mitchell, Crystal Palace.
Apparently Crystal Palace are sitting on another £50 million fullback. According to most Crystal Palace fans on the internet, this guy has the potential to be better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And yes, I know he's a left back. Watch this space.
Yes! Now I look clever! Because lads, Tyreek Mitchell made his Premier League debut a month after I made that video. He's since played over 150 Premier League games since as Crystal Palace's left back. He's also played twice for England. And oh yeah, this month, today in fact, he's linked with the move to Manchester United. I said that he was going to be better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I said an unknown teenage boy waiting for his debut would grow up to be better than a £60 million star. Well, he's already getting the exact same transfer gossip on his name. Oh, this was a good prediction. Everton, Mackenzie Hunt, Fleetwood Town.
See this face? Great. He's the next Gaza, a future number 10 in England midfield. Bit weird tipping lads for World Cups when they were born after Monsters Inc. Future England international. Please don't blame me if he ends up working down the pub.
Future England international. Lads, former Everton midfielder Mackenzie Hunt is now 20 years old and he is an international for the UAE. Huh? This scruffy Scouse kid is playing under the former Portugal manager Paulo Bento. He is being coached by someone who probably still has texts from Ronaldo in his phone. I don't think I've ever got a man's international career so wrong in my life. Lads, remember in this video earlier I mentioned Garvin Coughlin, that Villa kid from Limerick, right? Yeah. Hunt plays with his little bro because he's since joined Fleetwood Town in League 2 and yeah, plays with Ronan Coughlin, who's got 9 goals this season. That's pretty cool. Leicester, Faik Bolkia Ratchaburi.
Faik Bolkia, without a single first-team game to his name, at 22 years of age, is somehow allowed to captain Brunei. He's actually a pretty talented kid trying to carve his own way in life rather than just becoming the next Brooklyn Beckham.
Faik Bolkia is one of the richest footballers in the world. I talked about how easy it was for Romeo Beckham to just retire due to a lack of motivation for the sport, considering he was born with a big fat silver spoon in his gob. I mean, come on. He literally hired Andy Murray to teach him tennis. But Bolkia, His dad is worth $30 billion. He's a monarch. I'm convinced that this prince was only allowed on the books of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Leicester City because, oh, I don't know, his fat cat dad was probably promising to buy the coaches Lambos if they humored his son. Yeah, Bolkia is now grown up himself, and, well, he's now playing in Thailand for Ratchaburi. I mean, to be fair, he broke his leg last season, but that was probably because of some bitter broke centre half who was jealous of the Porsche in the car park. Liverpool, Lewis Longstaff, Inverness, Caledonian Thistle.
Lewis Longstaff, a Liverpool midfielder poached from Newcastle's academy. Matty Shawn and Lewis Longstaff growing up together in the same Newcastle academy. And apparently no relation?
Yeah, this one caught my eye at the time because, again, this was in an era which should be named the rise of the Longstaffs. There seemed to be a new one sprouting up every 20 minutes. In 2019, Shawn was linked with a £50 million move to Manchester United. In 2020, Matty was linked with Udinese, Inter Milan, and AC Milan. So of course I was going to keep an eye on Lewis Longstaff after Liverpool stole him from Newcastle's academy. But nah, don't get too excited. He's now 23, left Liverpool 3 years ago, and now plays for Inverness Caledonian Thistle. And Matty plays in Canada in the same team as Lorenzo Insigne, Federico Bernardeschi, and Kevin Long. Yeah, the MLS is weird. Man City, DiMarzio Wright Phillips, beer shot.
Who's this? Another one of Ian Wright's offspring? No, it's his grandson. This guy is the son of Shawn. On what planet is Shawn Wright Phillips old enough to have an 18-year-old son?
I'll be honest, I thought DiMarzio Wright Phillips was going to be some megastar by now. Come on, he's got sick footballing genes. If you had told me back in 2020 that in 5 years' time, Man City are going to be tying down the son of a former player to a 9.5-year deal, that someone whose dad was at City when they were poor, I was convinced it was going to be DiMarzio Wright Phillips. Because his granddad became Arsenal's record goal scorer, his dad signed for Chelsea for what was the equivalent of, what, £80 million in today's market? And his uncle is the all-time top goal scorer for New York Red Bulls. I thought this kid was going to be awesome too. Well, he's 23 now. Yeah, 23. Shawn Wright Phillips' son is just 6 years off 30. Huh? When did Shawn have him? When he was 8? But yeah, after leaving Man City for Stoke, he's now permanently at Beer Shot in Belgium. Beer Shot. Sounds like something Amy Winehouse would order at the bar. Lads, you want to talk about Barclays men? Yeah. Shawn Wright Phillips' son is being managed by Dirk Kuyt. That seems so strange. It's a bit like finding out that your geography teacher used to get bullied by your mum at school. But yeah, sadly, I think this kid might just be the worst professional footballer in his family. Man United, Harvey Neville, Phoenix Rising.
Your dad played 59 times for England and currently manages the national women's team. Your uncle played 85 times, including at 3 World Cups. And you're currently in the under-19 Republic of Ireland squad. Cool. I'm sorry, Harvey, but I've been hurt before.
This kid terrified me the most. Really, he did. I was petrified of Phil Neville's son because I thought he was going to break my heart and become the next Declan Rice.
Harvey Neville is the next Jack Grealish.
Yeah, I was scared. Look, Neville's career has been coasting off his dad's connection for youngs. Come on, what other mediocre right back manages to get a youth career filled with Man City, Valencia, and Man United? I mean, you know when you play on that same Sunday League team as somebody whose dad is the coach, you know how they always get special perks. Like, they get to wear the captain's armband despite having the personality of a squished Toblerone. They get to take the penalties despite them being a rubbish left back. Oh yeah, and of course, they are always the ones who'll always get a Big Mac on the way home from the match. Yeah, because of whose dad is, then yeah, Neville has played with Messi. No, forget about Phil getting a priceless autograph for his birthday. No. He's literally been on the same pitch as Lionel Messi. But when that club fired his dad, they soon dumped his son. But he's still in the States, having joined Phoenix Rising, Drogba's former club. Christ above, he's getting the same move that was given to Drogba. Wow. His dad really is the puppet master of his career. But as for playing for England or Ireland, nah, he's just another Romeo. Newcastle, Yannick Touré, FC Auru.
Newcastle, Yannick Touré. I'm confused about the hype over Yannick Touré. Yannick Touré is going to be some player. New Drogba. To be fair, this guy was ahead of the marketing game. He has a YouTube channel.
Lads, I'll be honest, because after I made this video, Yannick Touré subscribed to that channel. So at least we know he watched the vid. And look, I remember the hype on Tyneside when he joined the academy in 2018. But honestly, I think that was just because his name kind of sounded like Yaya Touré, which got everybody pumped. Geordies were hyping him up as the next Drogba, and I'll admit it, I got carried away too, but let's see. 24 years old, he went back to Young Boys after I made this video, and is now at Swiss team FC Aarau. Doesn't sound like a football club, sounds like the yelpings of a wolf. To be fair, he's got 7 goals this season for Aarau, but meh. Norwich, Will Hondermark, Northampton Town.
Hondermark was born in France but moved to Dublin when he was 5 and carved out a few years at Drogheda United. Andrew Omabadibideli is a teenage defender who made the move from Leixlip and who hopes to emulate Virgil van Dijk, while Josh Gurku is a 17-year-old forward born to Romanian parents. Factor in Adam Ida and Simon Power. Lads, I didn't realise this. Norwich City have half my country's future prospects at their disposal. Long live Norwich City!
Yeah, I thought William Hondermark was going to be the next Ireland international midfield superstar after having come through a Drogheda United. Nope, he's 24 and plays for Congo. Yeah, not even Dr. Congo. No, it's the Congo who dropped out of medical school. So there goes the chances of him ever putting on that glorious green shirt. Let's be real. He's not good enough. He plays for Northampton, Sheffield United, Tache Andel Gibbons, Lancing FC.
Tache Andel Gibbons is interesting because he comes from the Rising Ballers Academy, an online youth academy for unsigned London footballers. This guy is from the hood.
This guy might have fallen off the map the most. But then again, I don't want to say anything because this guy is apparently from the hood. So, I'm just gonna be as nice as pie, okay? Oh, you look like a charming young man. Oh, you didn't make it at Bramble Lane? So, who'd want to, right? Nah, you're too good for that club, you absolute king. Yeah, he's now playing for Lancing FC. And this is the only update I could find for the guy.
Tache has a great run, slips over and it leads to nothing.
Moving on. Southampton, Marcus Barnes, Mickle over.
Okay, Southampton's Academy have a Hall of Fame to die for. So this must be good. Let's see, who do we have? Marcus Barnes, brother of former Derby County wonder kid Giles Barnes.
Lads, I remember the sickening levels of hype afforded to Giles Barnes at Derby County back in the day. But he never kicked on after the age of 21 and actually had a pretty disappointing career. So I thought, with his brother now being in the prestigious, brilliant Southampton Academy, I thought the Barnes family might have been given another crack at producing a star and getting this one right. No, he's now 28 and plays for Mickleover. Tottenham, Mauricio Pochettino, Ibiza is Las Petusis.
He's probably a decent ball-playing midfielder, but good luck breaking into the first team when Jose Mourinho is your boss. Half the Spurs fan base are still pining for this guy's dad. This guy is literally the human daily reminder of Mourinho's predecessor. Brian Clough famously banned his players from even mentioning Don Revie at Leeds. How do you think Jose is going to like Pochettino's son staring at him in the face?
This is how you can tell which managers love their sons more, because Phil Neville has pulled the strings for Harvey all his career, holding his hand every step of the way. But Mauricio Pochettino, he gave up after being sacked at Spurs. He didn't even bother trying to steal his talented son out of the Spurs Academy to get him a move to PSG. No, he probably didn't even bother asking the PSG president. Instead, his son joined Watford, played once, and is now 23 years old and playing in Ibiza. Yes, Pochettino's son is nearly halfway to 48 and still searching for his first ever career goal, and yet lives on an island populated by drunk 18-year-old lads from Bristol. Watford, Sunny Bluelow, Everton, Yeovil Town.
Step 4, Scottish underage international Sunny Bluelow Everton. Watford have a history of producing excellent talents, so there's every chance he'll be a top player. Well, I'm sorry, what is that name?
Yeah, I only paid attention to this guy because of his crazy name. He now plays for Yeovil Town. West Ham, Connor Coventry, Charlton Athletic.
West Ham, Connor Coventry. Connor Coventry is a 20-year-old up-and-coming midfielder. Born in London, plays for West Ham, and Ireland under-21 international. Does anyone see any similarities here? Lads, his name is literally Connor Coventry. He's gonna play for England, isn't he?
He wishes. Yeah, this guy. If he was good enough, he would have been another Declan Rice or a Jack Grealish at the least, just using our nation as training wheels before realising his actual dream. But look, Connor Coventry was just turfed out of West Ham after 14 years on their books and with just one Premier League match under his belt, and even that with just 1 minute against Man City. He's now playing for Charlton Athletic. Wolves, Leonardo Campana, New England Revolution.
Leonardo Campana is a 19-year-old Ecuadorian international striker who is the son of a former professional tennis player. So can you imagine, with this guy's family tree being coded in sport and success, can you imagine if he just ended up becoming an accountant?
I knew there was something special about this kid. Now, Leonardo Campana never made it at Wolves, but so, neither did Pedro Goncalves. What of it? This guy grew up to play in an Inter Miami front line with Messi and Suarez. This guy was the Neymar replacement of that MSN triple act, which is such an honor. It'd be like my mum getting asked to step in for Beckham's wife at the next Spice Girls reunion tour. I said Campana was destined for greatness, and he was. He bagged in 30 goals for Miami. He's mates with Messi and just recently joined New England Revolution. Lads, how have two of the children in this list both grown up to play with Messi? Anyway, that's the interview. Let me know what do you think. All right, let me know in the comments. What do you think? All right, let me know. Was I overhyping them? Was I not? Let me know in the comments. If you did, don't forget to like, share, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.